iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FullTimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto, get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's take a look at last night's game, and this was a really good game. Seahawks, 49ers. Hate to see a team lose this game. Both teams could absolutely have won it. So let's break this down. Look, some of the things that I caught in this game. Jimmy Garoppolo was not very good. I don't care. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about 248 yards and a touchdown. He had one interception. He could have had two or three more. I mean, literally threw the ball into the hands of the Seattle Seahawks defense, and they didn't catch it. Surprising. I thought Seattle did a very good job of containing the run. Breida, 10 for 18. Coleman, 9 for 40. So basically, I thought Seattle took San Francisco away from what they wanted to do. Now, Deebo Samuel was fantastic. I mean, really, really special. Sanders got injured, but there was no Kittle. So it's interesting to see how Seattle would do against the 49ers with Kittle there. I don't know if there would be the same result. Kittle's a pretty darn good player. But Deebo Samuel was special. I mean, really, I love this kid. And if you can pick him up in a league right now, you go get him. Now, I know that he was better because Kittle wasn't there. But look, if Sanders is out for any length of time, you're going to want to own Samuel for sure. For Seattle, Russell Wilson was pedestrian. I mean, he was good but not great. 232 yards and a touchdown. He ran for 53 yards. But he was under pressure all night. He was under pressure all night. Chris Carson ran 25 carries, 89 yards and a touchdown. And that's pretty good, considering that the 49ers are one of the top run defenses in the NFL. That was pretty good. Here's what I thought would look great. I thought Jacob Hollister looked really good. He was always open. You turn around, and the 49ers are very good against tight ends, but Hollister always looked open. Metcalf looked good. Now, Lockett left the game with an injury. Josh Gordon, all of a sudden, Pete Carroll and the Seahawks look like geniuses for bringing in Josh Gordon because Lockett could be out for a couple of weeks. I know they're on bye weeks coming up, but I don't know. He went to the hospital, swelling, issues. I'm very, very concerned here with Lockett. But I thought the defense played very well. Jerron Reed, Clowney, these guys were just doing a great job on Garoppolo. This was a really good game. This was a playoff game. I mean, this was absolutely a playoff game. I'm not going to lie. So I would be happy to watch this game week in, week out. I thought it was really a good job by two good teams. All right, let's take a look at some news and notes. Firstly, the Bucs waive Vernon Hargreaves. Vernon Hargreaves is not a very good cover guy. And it's interesting that Bruce Arians cut him because this is a first rounder. Now, it's funny because this report here says they think that the Dolphins are going to go after him, and maybe so. I mean, Hargreaves played at the University of Florida. He's a Florida kid, so maybe he'll be interested. But if Bruce Arians is cutting you, especially with Tampa's defense, because Tampa's defense is terrible, their pass defense. Terrible, right? So that they cut him, he must have been dogging it in practice, man. I mean, this guy dogging it in games. So when you're a dog like that, that's hard for your reputation. It really is. It's hard for your reputation. The Bengals waived Preston Brown. I think you'll see a lot of Jermaine Pratt, who I think is a very good tackler. Okay, Josh Gordon didn't play a lot, but he will because Tyler Lockett was taken to the hospital and is dealing with a severe contusion. Now, I know when we hear the word contusion, we're like, that's nothing. No, contusions can hurt. I told you guys I had a wrist contusion. It hurt me for a month. The Giants signed Scott Simonson. That tells me a lot because Evan Engram is dealing with a foot injury and Rhett Ellison is dealing with a concussion. You might be looking at Scott Simonson and Caden Smith as the Giants tight ends next week. I just have one word to say there. Woo! Is that even a word? That's pretty bad. So that's the news and notes I want to go with right now. If there's more, I'll get to it on the show. Okay. So let's talk about waiver wire Tuesday. Some quarterbacks. Nick Foles. Yeah, Nicky Foles. You looking at him? You should be. You may not like Daniel Jones, and I just told you that they have no tight end to speak of, but the Giants really have a good schedule moving forward, right? The Giants have a bye week, the Bears, Green Bay, okay, but then it's the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Redskins in the critical weeks. So the next 3 weeks are hard, but the weeks after that are good. Just throwing that out there for you. Just play Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill might be out there. Kyle Allen. That guy, he's the new starter. And I thought he looked pretty good. I thought they should have been... look, you're in Green Bay against a good defense in the snow. I thought he acquitted himself well. I did. Brandon Allen, I think, is interesting. I don't think Drew Lock is going to start this year. I really don't. Ryan Finley showed me a little pocket presence and a little mobility. And Dwayne Haskins shows me nothing. Okay, that guy just shows me run for the hills if you pick him up. At running back, some names I'm looking at. Brian Hill. Brian Hill is the guy you want to own this week. So on the radio show, I'll talk more about Brian Hill and how much I'd go in. So let's talk about the radio show, okay? I want to do this because I think it's important. If you can't find me and you want to listen to the radio show, go to your app store. I just clicked my button here, okay? Then I press search, type in FNTSY. Then you're going to see Fantasy Radio. Click it. Then you're going to see the second one. The first one says CBS Sports. The second one says FNTSY Radio. There's a green box with a microphone. You click it, download it, and you can hear me every day from 2 to 3 p.m. and I can talk about things like this, okay? So that's very important to me, okay, that you listen and I can help you. Next, I told you about Brian Hill. I like Raquel Armstead a lot. I like Raquel Armstead a lot. It seems like Leonard Fournette is going to see Armstead take some of his playing time, and I think Armstead is interesting. I do. J.D. McKissick, I think, is a real good play as well. Right? Ty Johnson is injured. Yeah, Paul Perkins and your McKissick. McKissick's in a PPR league. You really want to look his way. Geis is nice. And let me give you another guy. Mike Davis. That's right, Mike Davis. The Bears cut him. He was with Seattle last year, picked up by the Panthers. If you own Christian McCaffrey, you better go get yourself Mike Davis in case McCaffrey gets hurt. Telling you, you're going to want to do that. I'm going to want to do that. I better do that right now. Hold on. I got to click myself and remember so I remember that in one of my leagues. Okay. Jalen Richard also I want you to look at too. I like him for Oakland, especially if they're behind. They use him. They won't be behind this week, but I do like him. Okay, wide receiver. Darius Slayton. Yeah. Sterling Shepard, as we discussed before, I think is going to be put on the season-ending IR with his concussions. Slayton looks real deal. I like it. He looks real deal. Next, James Washington. Where did he play college football? Oklahoma State. Where did Mason Rudolph play? Oklahoma State. These are boys. These guys are comfortable with each other. I think you need to look their way. I don't really like Demaryius Thomas, but I guess you can look his way. I like Taylor Gabriel. I mentioned Taylor Gabriel before. Mitch Trubisky likes Gabriel. That's a guy we want to watch. And my guy who I picked up last week in a couple of leagues, I just want Andy Isabella to be more involved. He is a difference maker, and I'm praying to the fantasy gods that Cliff Kingsbury starts using him more because I think he's a real good player. I do, and I think that he's somebody that I want to see you guys own. Okay, at tight end, there's a few names. First, Jackie Doyle. Hilton's injured. Campbell's injured. It seems like they like throwing a Doyle. Go get him. Noah Fant. Noah Fant is a real good athlete, arguably better than T.J. Hawkinson, maybe more pro potential than T.J. Hawkinson. I like him. Brandon Allen's going to need a guy to throw to. How about Fant? O.J. Howard, maybe he was cut in your league. He's got a very tough schedule moving forward, but I do like him, right? But I do like him moving forward. I think he's interesting. Eric Ebron, he begged for more playing time, and he got it, 5 for 56. Nick Boyle, Nick Boyle. Who would ever think that I would be recommending Nick Boyle or Hayden Hurst? Hurst, Boyle, Andrews. That's who Lamar throws to, right? So any of those guys are interesting. Oh, I want to come up with another name here. I want to come up with Jeff Driscoll. Should you take a risk on Jeff Driscoll? Maybe not next week playing the Cowboys, but Matthew Stafford's got some issues. And I don't know how good I feel about him playing the rest of the year. Not so sure about that. I worry whether or not he is way more injured than people think. And I don't know if they want to shut him down for sure, but I can just tell you that I worry about him. Do. All right, Dwayne Haskins. I'm going to go back to some quarterbacks here. Dwayne Haskins. I don't like Dwayne Haskins, but look, he's going to start the rest of the way. Could he be any worse? Let's look there. Other names, Baker Mayfield. Maybe somebody dropped him. I don't really like him this week against Pittsburgh, but he's somebody I might look at. Kareem Hunt. Look, he looked very good. He had 4 carries and 7 receptions. If he's going to get 7 receptions every week, you definitely want to pick him up. He's somebody to target. I want to talk about what happened in Kansas City for a second. LaShawn McCoy was a healthy scratch. But look, I like Darrell Williams. I like Damian Williams. I like Darwin Thompson. Be great to see that guy do something. Right? So let's keep our eye on that. Let me tell you something about David Johnson. He doesn't look right. David Johnson does not look right for Arizona. So be careful there. I like Kenyon Drake a whole lot more than other people do. Let me see. Other names. I mentioned Isabella, who I liked. A.J. Brown. I don't know about A.J. Brown. Adam Humphries, maybe. I'm looking at Tennessee as a spot. I know they have a bye week issues coming up, but there's got to be something there in Tennessee because teams need to know to shut down Derrick Henry, and Corey Davis is not 100%. So keep a look there. Maybe Kenny Stills. People may have forgotten Kenny Stills. People may have cut Kenny Stills. That's a guy you want to look at as well. Okay? So there are some names for you for Waiver Wire Tuesday. And of course, we will discuss more of these players in depth on the Dr. Roto Hour on FNTSY Radio. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I will keep breaking it down for you. And remember, check me out at fulltimefantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And tomorrow, I'll mention this tomorrow as well, my start sit article at si.com/fantasy. All right, guys, have a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.